I want to play a clip of Donald Trump and his most recent speech. It's about 2 minutes long, but I want you to listen to everything he says, and I'm going to tell you why Donald Trump is so wrong, yet so right. Let's listen in.
No group in America has been more harmed by Hillary Clinton's policies than African Americans. No group. No group. If Hillary Clinton's goal was to inflict pain on the African American community, she could not have done a better job. It's a disgrace. Tonight, I'm asking for the vote of every single African American citizen in this country who wants to see a better future. Look how much African American communities have suffered under Democratic control. To those I say the following: what do you have to lose by trying something new like Trump? What do you have to lose? I say it again, what do you have to lose? Look, what do you have to lose? You're living in poverty. Your schools are no good. You have no jobs. 58% of your youth is unemployed. What the hell do you have to lose?
All right.
America must reject the bigotry of Hillary Clinton, who sees communities of color only as votes, not as human beings worthy of a better future.
All right. Well, let me do this just cause. I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna clap. All right. Number one, we talked about this last week. Donald Trump is not going to win the black vote. He may have bumped himself up from 1%. Actually, he had already did that. So he already went from 1% to 2%. So I'll give him, he'll get 3% of the black vote. He's predicting that if he were to win in what year is this? 2016, he would get 95% of the black vote by 2020. Really, Donald? No. Donald Trump, as you could see, let me pull this, guys, the leader of the white supremacist group, the blatantly white supremacist group, was wearing a Donald Trump hat. And I only mention that because Donald Trump inspires these people. He motivates these people. They look to him as the leader of the American Nazi Party said of Donald Trump that he presents an opportunity for the values of the American Nazi Party. David Duke, former Grand Master Dragon, whatever they called themselves, of the Ku Klux Klan, feels like this is his opportunity because of Donald Trump. He's thinking about running for Senate in Louisiana. So that's just the racial component, right? Donald Trump will never get the black vote because of the people he motivates and inspires. He should never he should not even get 3% of the black vote when you see some of the stuff that goes on at his rallies and the people that he motivates. But I'll give you, there's 3% of the people who just would vote for, I don't know, David Duke. All right. That's number one. On the second side of the argument that I made last week is that if you look at the problems in the black community economically, and they always do this. This is where I part ways with Donald Trump again. It's this laser-like focus on cities like Detroit and Chicago and other Midwestern cities that have been gutted out of the Rust Belt. That, Cleveland. God, if you've been in Cleveland, you see industries that have left and they are being run by Democratic mayors. I don't know about Cleveland, but for sure, Chicago, Detroit, you look at these cities, they're being run by Democratic mayors, and the life of African Americans in those cities is overwhelmingly dire, right? The condition is dire, right? You do have successful black people. I'm not even talking about the successful black people. We'll get to that next. But this argument that because the black people are in these conditions because of Democrats is disingenuous because Democrats are running a Republican-like platform in all of these cities, economic paradigm in all of these cities. In other words, if we went with somebody like Donald Trump, not only would the conditions already have been the exact same. If you put a Republican in those cities, not only would those conditions have been the exact same, but they would have been worse because they would have further exacerbated the conditions that caused the condition of black people in these. Look at the deindustrialization. Look at the outsourcing. Look at the jobs that left these industries, these cities. Look at all of the redlining. Look at the discrimination. Look at all of the things that happened in democratically ran cities. And you want to tell me that Republicans would have done something different? No. They would have done it differently. They just would have done it more and more often and more blatant and just in the open. So this is the problem. This is the real problem I have with Donald Trump, is because he's offering himself as something different. But what's different about him is that what he wants to do is not only a continuation of what Democrats have been doing, but he wants to do it even more. Look at the tax policies that he's offering. Look at the tax code where he's going to gut. Not only he's setting a precedent, right? So we are talking about a difference between federal and state taxes and federal regulations and state regulations. So there is a separation in between what Donald Trump could actually even do to help these areas. But what he's trying to do is set a new paradigm like Ronald Reagan did, and set a new tax code like Ronald Reagan did that would sweep the nation. The momentum would sweep the nation, and you will have that model not only on the national level, but on the state level, where you gut the federal coffers, but you also gut the state coffers. And when you gut the state coffers, we're not gutting them from privileged communities. We're not taking away from privileged communities. We're not taking away from the nice side of Chicago, or we're taking away from the south side of Chicago. We're taking away from Detroit in general, right? We're taking away from the impoverished black communities. When we rob our communities of tax revenues, of companies that benefit and profit from those communities, then we leave those communities barren and empty. And not only are they deprived of tax revenue programs that could be funded by tax revenues, but they're also deprived of their capital that leaves the neighborhood. All of that to say, yes, the Democrats have not been a beacon of hope for the black community in a long damn time. But the Republicans want to do even worse, because the problem with the Democrats that we have is the fact that they're not only neoliberal, but they're Republican light. All right, so that's the second part of the problem. Now, actually, that's the two-part problem that I have with Donald Trump. Not only is he fostering racists, so he will never get the black vote, but two, he's offering economic policies that are going to further exacerbate the problem in the black communities.